Thomas released the following statement saying, I appreciate the Ravens organization for the opportunity. Had a great run. Wish things would have ended different, but you live and you learn. Thank you, Eric DaCosta, and everyone else who played a role in bringing me to Baltimore. Wish you guys the best. Brandon, you know Earl. You played with Earl. You were surprised by this, weren't you?
Yes, I'm surprised, Jenna, because this is not the Earl I know. I played with Earl in Seattle, and this guy would come, and he was the most humblest person I've played with, fiercest competitor, but this guy never talked. If there was anything that I could link him to a bad teammate, it would be that he didn't talk. So this is telling. There's something deeper going on here. So when you see a Pro Bowl player, all-pro player, potential Hall of Fame player get released like this, then you got to look at the history. You have to look at the track record. And so I don't know what's going on, but we know that he's had a tough offseason personally. And I keep thinking about how does a Hall of Fame player that makes like the perfect decisions on the field make a few bad decisions this year, and what's going on with him. So I think this is one of those moments where we need to step back a little bit. Don't even look at football and think about, okay, Earl, are you okay? You know, but I love Earl. This is not the Earl I know. I need this guy to get back on track.
Brandon, do you think moving forward that it's best for Earl to immediately get into another organization, or to take some time, like you said, and sort of figure out the personal side?
No, you have to get back into it. I mean, the best support system is your family, and football is family. We say that all the time, and that's why one of the things I hate about the NFL is that, you know, sometimes when our guys get in trouble, we say, okay, we ban you from the locker room. You can't come back for a couple of weeks. No, what we should be doing is you need to spend more time in the locker room, because those guys are the guys that get you through these tough times. So I need to see Earl back in the locker room, hopefully Dallas, but this is his support system.
Just quickly here, before we talk about where he could land, reading the reporting about this, to me, there's a lot more that must have gone on within that locker room behind the scenes between Earl and some of his teammates. Now, listen, I get it. Chuck Clark appears to be maybe the most well-liked Ravens defensive player. But for a training camp fight to lead to, reportedly, Jenna, the leadership council of the team went to Harbaugh and said he's got to go, when he's an excellent player who, once he got the scheme, kind of got his legs under him last year and learned the scheme, was a great part of that defense. To me, this was jarring. I mean, this is a no doubt Hall of Famer who was a part of a great defense last year. And Jennifer, a training camp fight to be like, nope, you're out of here, leads me to believe there was a lot more going on within that Ravens locker room, that this just was kind of bubbling up to the surface, but that within the team, there's a lot more to it, Jenna.
That's a great point, Nick. Well, as the news of Thomas's release was slipping out on Sunday, Adam Schefter reported that the Dallas Cowboys would be a leading contender to sign the All-Pro as a free agent. So, Nick, let me send it back to you. Let's talk fit here. Would Earl Thomas work in Dallas?
1,000%. Like, on the field, he might not still be peak prime Legion of Boom Earl Thomas, but he's without question one of the three best free safeties in the entire NFL. And the Cowboys have been trying to get an impact safety, whether it's Earl Thomas or Jamal Adams, for the last 2.5 seasons. And by the way, Brandon, they lose Byron Jones in the offseason. I know he's a corner, but obviously if you lose a great corner, the need for great safety play is only heightened. And when you look at their roster, Brandon, their biggest weak point is the secondary. So if they were thinking about trading a first-round pick and giving Jamal Adams a massive contract, if they could get Earl for no draft pick compensation, to me, that's a perfect fit for a huge need for them, Brandon.
Yeah, listen, if there was ever a better time to get a superstar safety, this is the time now. This team is primed to take it the distance and be a contender. Go get your guy. This guy was born in Texas. He went to Texas for college. He loves the star. He's been hollering about it. Everybody wants to see it. America wants to see it. America's team, please get this done. I would love to see Earl Thomas with that star on the side of his helmet and making some plays. I think this team is primed to go from all talk, from pretenders to contenders, and this is the year. Let's go.
Brandon, I know we just talked about wanting Earl in an organization and a structure to get his mind right. If you're the Cowboys, and suppose you're like an executive on the Cowboys, do you give a call to the Ravens to be like, hey, what happened? Because if I was in charge of the Cowboys, I would say like, all right, a Super Bowl contender just got weaker on defense on purpose by letting this guy go. I'm not totally sure that I want to absorb sort of that type of behavior or that history in the locker room. So what diligence do you think the Cowboys do with the Ravens?
They know Earl. They know Earl personally. Let's go back a couple years. Earl walked into the Dallas Cowboys locker room asking them to come pick him up in the offseason. They don't need to do their due diligence. If any organization is ready for a player like this, it's the Cowboys. They have a history of bringing in players that are on the edge. This is Earl Thomas. They know this guy. They want this guy. They just didn't want to pay him then. So if they can get this guy at a discount and they can surround him with some leaders, he'll be just fine.
And quickly, Wilds, I would argue that for the third team, it's almost risk-free. So listen, I'm not comparing Earl to AB as far as off-the-field issues at all, but think about it. AB's in Pittsburgh forever, wears out his welcome. Then the Raiders take a big swing, give him a big contract and trade for him. It doesn't work out there. It kills their cap. They gave up draft picks. The Patriots bring him in. He plays well for a week. Doesn't work out because off-field stuff, you cut him, they're totally fine. They win 6 in a row after that, cost them almost no money. With Earl, he's in Seattle forever. It sours at the end. The Ravens give him a huge deal. It doesn't work out after a year. Now they're going to be in grievance negotiation about the money. Whoever brings him in next, it's going to be almost risk-free. If it doesn't work, you're going to cut him, and he's not going to have huge dead money or salary cap. So I just feel like if you're third in line, you get the benefit of the greatness of the player without the risk associated with the contract or the draft picks. So for the Cowboys or anybody, this is a move I would strongly, strongly consider.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.